last weekend. So we're gonna see if we can make it happen today, man. I just need some footage. I really need some footage of that broadhead. So I'm hoping that my skills are good enough to at least get me on a shootable animal either today or tomorrow. So, because that's all I've got left. I think the season actually ends on February 15th, but I mean that ends on like a Wednesday or a Thursday, and I've got work, so basically tomorrow's my last day. So wish me luck. Alright, it's finally bright enough to take a little video of where I'm at. As you can see, I'm in some pretty tight, knotted up junk. Not the most ideal place for archery owners, but if you can get an opening, you slide an arrow through it. But yeah, this WMA I've been on many times, but for this season it's my first. What usually keeps me out of this one is the mosquitoes. Dear Lord, the mosquitoes. I'm getting tore up. They don't care about mosquito spray. They don't care about a thermocell. They probably drink it as just for fun. So we're gonna see what we can do in here. All right, I got out of my other spot because the wind basically blew up all my chances. I was supposed to have a south-southeast, and right now I basically have a dead west wind at 10 miles an hour, which was blowing straight into the bedding area that I was hoping to get something from. But check out all this hog damage. It's hard to tell, but dude, there's some deep holes. Here's a little patch. I mean, look at this. That's fresh too, real fresh. None of the dirt's packed in. So I know that it probably hadn't even rained since they did this. So I'm gonna try to find somewhere to set up. I'd really like to run into them before I set up, because hogs are pretty easy to stalk if you find them first. All right, stumbled upon a pretty fresh camera. It's bittersweet. I don't really want to run into other people's stuff, but it is interesting in what they want to set up on. I like to see why maybe they decided to do that, but like to set up in this area. But it looks like really they're just kind of hoping that the deer find the camera instead of putting the camera where the deer are. There's really nothing here. This is just like wide open, no food, no cover, not much of a reason to set a camera in this location. You might get some nighttime pictures, but that's about it. Tell you what, they got the old stuff left all over around here. They got that tied to that. That's pretty risky business if you ask me, but it's all safe with me. I'm not gonna take anything, but it's just, I mean, you're risking quite a bit right there. Those sleds aren't cheap, and that stand isn't cheap. So, but to each his own. And I found another old wood ladder. You could see it right there in the middle of the frame. I'll go check it out. Always cool to see old stuff like that. That's an old wood ladder overlooking this little swampy area. It's real low. On the other side there's a ridge with a briar patch on it. So this would be a real good spot for rifle season, but not for bow. That's, if I had to guess, that's about a 50-yard shot, and that's if he comes as close as you can get without being in the open. Alright, I've just found what I'm pretty sure is some pretty fresh hog poop. So we're gonna see if we could bust into this briar patch, get something running. Alright. I'm finding some decent sign. But it's all super fresh. But man, I've been walking everywhere and I haven't bumped anything. I would have thought for sure by now I would have bumped something. So we'll see though. See, this is really fresh, you could tell. Look at those brand new shavings on the ground on both of these rubs. So, I don't know, I may set up somewhere around here. I'll see. Alright, I changed spots entirely. I went to a different area that this west wind, not south-southeast wind, would be in my favor. We're in the water, and I am finding some rubs, and I'm pretty sure I just walked past a catfish. But I know once upon a time at the end of this little trail, whatever it is, it's not marked on the maps. There was a buck bedded there at one point. I'm gonna go see if there's any sign, anything fresh, see if he's still there or not. All right, so I've had no luck so far today. I think it's like 2 o'clock or so. I've been scouting my tail off. I actually, in 2 different locations, completely different locations, like went back to the truck and drove to a new area. Because my spots around here are loaded with people sign, and I mean loaded. So it's time to go find a new area. Now, most of this people sign is probably from rifle season. That's how it goes. I mean, I'm the only truck over here. Sorry. I'm the only truck over here as of right now, and this is the last weekend. You would think that more people would be out here, unless they're just smarter than me and not gonna come out here and sweat like crazy. My face is red, it's hot, and there's about 5,000 mosquitoes per cubic foot. So it's been an eventful morning so far. I'm walking back to my truck now. I have one more spot that I'll probably go scout after some good old-fashioned McDonald's. I'm really craving a McDonald's Sprite right now. It probably should be water, considering I haven't drank any yet today. But I want that McDonald's Sprite. So hopefully I can find something. The only thing I ran into today, as far as wildlife goes, is I think I bumped a nice deer in some briar thicket because it winded me. I walked past the briar thicket and the wind blew straight into it. And whatever it was, I scared it inside out. And it blew up out of there. Never did get to see it though. But I'll let you guys know. I'm not sure if I'm gonna make a hunt yet this afternoon. May start fresh in the morning because my legs are killing me. I've probably walked a solid 8 miles today. So that it's a little reference for how long I've been scouting. I only sat in the tree for like 30 or 40 minutes this morning because the wind switched and I knew the rest of my time sitting there would just be a waste. So anyway, I'm gonna keep trying to find some deer. All right. Well, now that we've stopped at McDonald's, I'm feeling a lot better. I feel like I might make a hunt this afternoon. And I know that I didn't consume one thing with any nutritional value today. This feels a lot better. telling you, there's nothing better. Nothing better. That is the way the Lord intended Sprite to taste. That bites pretty hard. Alright, this area is pretty appealing. Very, very, very thick. And I've been finding fresh hog poop and deer poop. So I'll probably end up setting up somewhere around here. I'm really wanting to find some pigs because it's about to rain, and I don't know how much I really feel like setting up just to get down in an hour and a half. I found this little drainage with some fresh tracks. You can still see the mud cloud in the water. That's a pretty good indicator that that is like from today. I don't know what time, obviously, but that's pretty recent for the mud still to be stirred up. If it's super fresh, the water's gonna look like that. That's where I just walked. So I know it's not from like just now, or maybe not even from an hour ago, but it is probably from sometime today. One tip I have for walking quiet, if you're wondering if you're walking too loud, obviously you're the closest thing to the noise that you're making, so it's gonna sound super loud to you. But I mean, walk 50 yards away from me and then listen to me walk. You're not really gonna hear anything. But a good rule of thumb is walk quiet enough to be able to hear everything around you. If you're walking and crashing through stuff and you can't even hear if something's running away from you, that's way too loud. So, just for instance, I'm walking in this water. You can walk real quiet. Seeing that little bit of noise is no problem. Now, obviously, when you get into the palmettos, that's a whole different story. Sounds like you're fighting a shower curtain the whole way through. The best thing you can do is just go smoothly and slowly through them. And they're gonna make noise, that's just all there is to it. But it's nothing that these animals are not used to. Everything makes noise in here because of the palmettos. And you're no exception. So, just walk smoothly. That's a pig, that's a pig. Now you see, I just snuck up on that pig, not even 10, 15 yards away. I never got to see him because of how thick these palmettos are. But the only reason why he heard me is because I was talking. If I wouldn't have been talking, I mean, I might have gotten 5 yards closer until he finally saw me. I'm gonna see if I could find a group of pigs. I'm pretty sure that was a lone boar. So I know that you can eat both, and that, you know, people say several different things, but I'd rather just be safe about it. And I would like to get a sow, or even if she's got some piglets with her, that's really what I want. So we're gonna see. Unless there's just a huge one, then I'm going for him first, or her. So let's see if we can run into that group of pigs.
Well, I wish I could tell you that was a successful hunt, but no such thing for me. All I caught was Charlie horses in my legs. When I got home and got out of my truck, my legs locked up, and all I could do is stand there and try to, hit it and try to get my leg to bend again. Um, I got to run into some good pigs, but that's about it. I didn't get any shots off. It's just how it goes. It's crazy because just weeks ago, before I got these new broadheads to try, I was passing on does and I was passing on smaller bucks. I passed on some pigs, and now that I had more of a reason to shoot something, nothing will step a foot closer than 65 yards to me. Or in this case, the pigs, they're always behind something. You can never get a good visual on them. shortly after one of those clips, I think it was so I was creeping along talking about how quiet you can walk and how quiet you have to be to sneak up on a pig. Uh, and I busted on that pig that ran off from me. Um, I put the camera down because I was phone in this hand, crossbow in this hand. I need to get a head strap that way I can just turn it on and leave it. That way you guys can see what I see, and if I have to snap shoot something, I can. Uh, but shortly after that, I kind of followed where he went to, and I heard a couple of these pigs. I don't know if they were fighting amongst each other or if they'd sensed something was off that I was around, but they were grunting and it almost sounded like a growl, like they were fighting each other, like some, how if you guys are big dog owners, you know how your dogs will start to play fight and growl and bark and slam against each other. That's what it sounded like about 15 to 20 yards into the palmettos from me. And man, they just kind of ran off. I don't think they spooked from me. I think they were just fighting amongst each other and just kind of traveled along uh, into the woods. And I never got a shot opportunity. I could see palmettos moving, but that's it. And I didn't want to start filming in case something were either to come at me, or if I had a shot opportunity, I was just gonna have to shoot it and show you guys afterwards. Um, so that's a kink that I'm gonna be working out is head strap for the phone. But other than that, man, I found a lot of sign. I found those rubs that looked really fresh. Found a lot of people sign, which is unfortunate. Some of those areas I've been into in years prior, and it was a ghost town before. I don't know if maybe just some other hunters discovered it. That's the game though on public land. It's not just yours, so you have to share and be respectful. Um, I found quite a few other setups that were on that particular WMA, and man, people are brave. I'm not leaving anything out there. Not especially that jet sled attached to that. I think it was like a API aluminum stand or maybe a Summit. Either way, that's like $200 or $300 worth of climbing stand and another 60 to 70 worth of sled, and they could lose all of it like that. So I don't recommend leaving that kind of stuff in the woods. I know that everyone needs to be respectful to each other, but you can't trust everybody. So, words of the wise, take your stuff back home. I have left a climbing stand in the woods before, and I no longer own it. Someone else does. I got burned one time. That's all it took, and that was a cheap steel game winner climber. And I mean, they're still $150. It still hurts, you know. You got to get something else now. So don't leave your stuff out there. And finding cameras, like I said in that video, it's really interesting to see what other people like to set their cameras on. Some people, like that guy, he just set his camera facing the wide open, and I guess it's good to maybe take inventory of what's walking around. You might get some does or pigs or bucks or whatever walking just randomly throughout the night across that area, but that's about all that's good for. If you're going to set up cameras in public land where you're allowed to set cameras, I would I would find X of movement trails. Like if you find trails crossing or a very hard briar patch edge, and it's got like a rub line or some scrapes or fresh poop, set up on that. That will give you a very good idea of what is passing right there, and what time they're passing there, and what direction they're coming from. Because then you can kind of strategically set up according to where those deer are coming from and what time. If you're getting a buck that's passing at 7 p.m. right there, and it's coming from, I don't know, the south. Well, if he does that 2 or 3 nights in a row at 7 p.m., you might be able to backtrack 200 or 300 yards in that direction if you can find his tracks and either set up a camera again and see what time you catch him, or you can set up over there, kind of roll the dice, and you might catch him in those last 10 minutes of shooting time. Uh, that's I didn't come up with that. I actually heard that from the Louisiana Bow Hunter podcast, and it makes a whole lot of sense to me. I forgot the guy's name that was on the that was speaking on that technique of setting cameras. He actually sets a grid of cameras, like he's got a couple dozen cameras throughout the woods, and he could basically track at what time of that deer was where. You can really narrow it down. I don't have that kind of money to throw at cameras or that kind of time to go check them and go set them. But if I were going to set cameras, that's how I would do it. I would find a good trail, maybe with some big tracks or something, set cameras on those big tracks, and then just keep backing up or going forward until you catch that deer in daylight, and then set up accordingly. But anyway, rambling. I have, I don't know, 3 or 4 hunts worth of footage I have to kind of put together, make these after hunt videos. Um, but that is the result of me procrastinating. But check it out, new toy, little Rossi, I think RS22. Give it a little fun paint job, put a red dot on it. This is specifically for pigs on WMAs when the squirrel season and rabbit season is still in play. You're allowed to use shotguns with steel shot on WMAs. I think no larger than BB. You're allowed to use almost all rimfire cartridges, I believe. And that means a 17, a 22 long rifle, 22 Magnum, 17 HMR. Uh, so I just went with the 22 long rifle. You can find 22 long rifle bullets at Walmart. So that's pretty versatile. And I think everyone should have a little 22. I kind of forgot how fun they were. So this little rifle is really cheap. I looked them up at Academy. Right now, they currently go for like $140 ish, somewhere in there without this scope. This is like a $50 scope. And this strap, I just had it laying around, and I took the iron sights off. It had traditional iron sights, but the iron sights were really fat. So when I tried to zero in on a 2-inch dot at 30 yards, the iron sights covered up the whole thing. So it's it was good enough for a 22, but when you start getting picky, this is what you end up with. So I got a video coming out. I didn't get any pigs, but I did find some cool stuff out in the woods, and I think it'd be a video worth checking out because I did get to see some deer while looking for pigs after deer season, of course. Uh, so yeah, but thank you guys for watching. I'm gonna try to start transitioning my channel for the summertime. Obviously, it'll always be about hunting during hunting season, but during the summertime, I need content. So things that I'm starting up is I just built a greenhouse. It's 20 foot long, 10 foot wide, 7 feet tall, hoop shaped, windows along all sides, and a front door with a watering system across the top. So I think that'll be pretty cool to piddle with. Something else I'm going to do is I'm going to try to do turkey hunts. I'm going to do some gear reviews. I'm going to do like DIY gear as far as a new climbing stick with a platform. Uh, I'm gonna attempt to. I'm gonna look on Marketplace, see if I can find like an old piece of crap lock on stand or something like that, and see what I can make with it. Um, I'm going to zero in the crossbow, show how it, uh, show how it performs because I did get some questions about it in that crossbow video of me fixing it, and probably I might put some fishing on here as well. That's why the channel's called Louisiana Woodsman. I wanted it to be about anything that I do because I consider myself to be a woodsman. So it'll be deer hunting, duck hunting, turkey hunting, squirrel hunting, fishing, gardening, chickens. It don't matter. I got a bunch of meat chickens out in the back. So I might do some videos on them as well. But thank you guys for watching. See y'all later.